What do you think about what it's like to be a Giant right now? If that game ended at halftime, I feel like you wouldn't even want to go back to New York. I mean, what's the outlook and how hard can it be when you guys are struggling?
Those first 6 quarters of this year, man, I need to get my heart resuscitated. Like after those first 6 quarters, man, because it was just tough to watch. It felt like, who is this team? Like this
Yeah.
isn't the team that I saw last year, coming off of beating Minnesota in the playoffs, and then having and putting up a fight, and then having putting up the points that they were putting up, the
Yeah.
defense being what they were last year. I was like, this team is going to take a step. And the first 6 quarters didn't say so. But those last two, that third and fourth quarter, I think really indicated what this team is, and really indicated how much Daniel Jones is just a baller. Like, he might not impress you with his arm and do it the way
Yeah.
we want him to do it and do it the
Super
way it's
gamer.
traditional. He's just a gamer, dog. Like,
Yeah.
he's tough. He can use his legs. He's got weapons all over the field now to throw the ball to, and you see a different Daniel Jones now that he's got some guys around him now too. He's got some guys that he can depend on. Jalen Hyatt coming into the game and providing a spark. Like, we got guys all over the roster now that can play, and I think that third and fourth quarter is what's more indicative of what I think this Giants team will be. And now it's up to Coach Dayball to kind of keep them on this level so that they don't have these lulls like they did in the first half.
Is it safe to say, and this is a relevant question if you look at Kansas City and some of these teams that have big turnover in the wide receiver room, because, like at the end of last year, Daniel Jones thrown to a lot of guys we hadn't heard of. Well, now Hodgins is more of a known commodity. You mentioned Hyatt, you bring in Waller, but the receiver room still needs to get better through the year, and I'm wondering how and can a receiver room get better throughout the year? Like Rashee Rice and those guys in Kansas City, like that's going to be a work in progress. What goes into improving the connectivity between a quarterback and a wide receiver room through a year?
That's a good question. I think it's communication for the most part. I think it's understanding and communicating how you want these things done. And I think from a coaching perspective, it's delineating who are the guys. I think you're seeing
Yeah.
Shep in the game, Jalen getting his snaps, Paris Campbell in the game as well. Slayton's in the game. Like, we need to define who our three wide receivers are going to be and who our fourth wide receiver is going to be when he comes into the game. And then we can operate holistically from there. I think you're seeing different guys kind of being in and out and kind of doing different packages for different guys, which I understand because we're deep. I think it's a luxury that we haven't had for a while. But I do like roles. I think roles are important on a football team. And I think especially, micro teams on the, position groups are micro teams. You get in that receiver room, you get
Right.
in that linebacker room, you get in that D-line room. That's a whole nother team you got in there. So
Yeah.
I think it works and it helps when you're in those receiver rooms, delineating who the guys are, and then everyone else can relax and kind of operate within their role.